Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So I'll be watching a video by Maven Potter. I'm not sure who this is or what channel this is, and the title of this video is Singaporean Chinese Embraces Islam. Right, so this is posted a year ago in 2019, but because geographically Singaporean Chinese, I mean Singapore is just the next door. It used to be part of our country. So I'm interested. So without further ado, let's watch.
Hi, I'm Jaina. I'm a Singaporean-born Chinese, and I'm a Muslim.
Okay, the name Jaina, is that a name that she chose after she became Muslim? Because that is not a Chinese name, right?
There was a point where I was actually thinking, if Islam is such a restrictive religion, why do people still stay in Islam? Why do people still join Islam? So I decided that like my best way to learn about it was to go straight to the book itself and to go for classes. When I first started reading the Quran, I was actually hesitant to continue when I was on the second chapter, which was actually the longest chapter in the Quran. And there were some quotes I didn't feel like I agree with. So I asked one of my friends, I was like, is this what Islam is all about?
That is an interesting comment there, because yeah, Surah Al-Baqarah. Of course, it is the longest chapter. It's the second chapter, right? Second surah, longest one. And I'm not sure at which point that she reads, because the first part of the surah is about our senior, right? The Bani Israel that got the book, holy book before us, and the example that they show in the sense that they get the message, they get the mission, and they fail, basically, according to the Quran, right? And then the second part is where the mission is given to the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then there's a lot of rules and regulation, if you can see it as such, that become the mission of Muslim, to make sure that this happen on this earth, right? So I'm not sure whether she is referring to that part, right? Because there's a lot of rules and regulation that without certain background, I'm not sure whether certain people are ready to accept certain rules and regulation.
And he said, you are supposed to read the book in its entirety. Finish the entire book first, and God willing, your questions will be answered. Only after learning and gaining knowledge, then did I realize that Islam is actually a very beautiful religion. It encompasses peace, love, and so many other things that I had misconceptions about. And that was when I realized that Islam is not just a religion, but it's a way of life. And
that's an interesting quote. Islam is not just a religion, it's a way of life. I'm not sure whether, because when I think I've seen someone, when they heard that, they said, well, our religion is as well like that, right? But I think when Islam claimed to be as such, or when Muslims say as such, because Islam is not just about ritual, right? It goes about how you deal with your money, income, how you spend your money, etc., right? Yeah.
After learning about it, I didn't think that I could go back to who I was before gaining all of that knowledge. And so I decided that it was a natural next step for me to embrace Islam. I'm actually very scared of my mother, if I don't know. So I had to drop very subtle hints to her, because I feel like this is a direction that I cannot pull away from. And I do that through like cutting out pork from my life, cutting out non-halal meat from my life, She'll catch me reading the Quran before bed. I was dressing a lot more modestly because before that I was like, sexy, you know. She didn't take well to it also lah. She was just like, I don't think I don't know that you're seeing a Malay boy. She didn't even come to my wedding, only my father did. But later on, when I found out that I was pregnant, I told.
Sure, okay. There's some jump in the story, right? Because suddenly there's a Malay guy there, and then there's a marriage there, and then now she's pregnant. Now, so in the earlier part of the story, there's no boy there. You know, is that a factor that leads her towards trying to understand Islam or not? Because those part of the story is not mentioned until when she say her mother is saying that, right? So at first when I heard that, I thought that's just a certain misconception people think about people who become interested in Islam because there's a boy, there's a girl. But suddenly when she says marriage, that wait a minute. So is that actually a factor? Just a question that comes to my mind.
And she started to worry for my health. So she would call every day and to make sure that I'm eating right. And that was when our relationship started to get better, because only then, when she started talking to me, then I realized that, you know, this is my chance to show that I'm a better daughter. Yeah, that Islam is making me a better person. And that was when she realized, through meeting Aiman, that he's actually a very good husband. And when we had Anya,
the image used when she says that her husband is a good husband is by doing. I'm not saying that is not related. I'm not saying. Of course, a good husband will help in the house chore, of course. But yeah, interesting to you know, when people say you put certain image when certain things are being said, and then it comes together, right? So
she realized that he's actually a very good father. Actually, I met him on flight. We were both flying then as cabin crew. We didn't talk to each other throughout the whole flight.
So they are a cabin crew of an airline, I'm assuming. So yeah, because it is interesting in terms of the suddenly you are introduced with new information that was not mentioned before, right? And then in terms of this video, it's interesting.
Till like later, and we decided to, you know, get to know one another better.
Just for the record straight, she asked for my number, so
Let's start with the good first lah. I like that he's always there to support me and tell me, you know what, it's okay. You can always try again. You know what, I know that you've had a bad day, you know. Then he will do little things to make me happy, like buy me McDonald's. Yeah. He will make me my coffee in the morning. He will be there to take over when things get rough with Anya, like as in, you know, when I'm exhausted.
and I do breakfast in bed again, so yeah. Now come to bed.
I always see that in movies. I'm not sure if I should confess, I have never done that with my wife, meaning bring breakfast to the bed. And I don't know whether that would be appreciated or bringing food, because, you know, in a certain custom that food should be eaten at its place in the kitchen or in the dining place, right? Not in the living room, not what more in the bedroom, right? So
Okay, so I don't understand.
I think probably temper. Sometimes I feel like he needs to rein it in. Not towards me. He's never angry towards me. He's never angry towards Anya. Knowing that he was a very bad-tempered person before he met me, you know, like he really mellowed down after we got together.
Where do I start first? As a wife, I think I'm glad to
to have her as my wife, to be honest. Because I think I would be a lesser man without her, a lesser person without her. Yeah. So yeah. Like how I wouldn't be a man without my mother, I think she also made me the next level kind of man. So
now, when he said that, because of course I feel like, you know, I share the same feeling when if I were to think about me and my wife, right? And then suddenly it got me thinking: is there any people, any person in a marriage that would say anything different? Not to camera, of course. I'm not saying in terms of you are saying positive words to describe what your marriage, but I'm talking about actually how you feel, because of course I cannot say I have multiple experiences of marriage or whatever, but I assume most marriage are like my marriage, in the sense that you always feel that the partner that Allah have given you always makes you a better person, right? Of course that partially due to it actually does from my experience, but and I assume every partnership, I'm maybe the scope is those marriage that built upon a certain foundation, not just that come out of nowhere. I'm not going into details there, but is it true? Is there any married people that would say anything different, in the sense that the partner will make them a worse person, etc.? In reality, wonder about it.
she made me a father, so for that, as a mother to my child, I think I think Anya couldn't get a better mother than. Having said that, she has a shortcoming, so but you know, are we getting to that? Are we getting to that? No, not the question. I say that, okay, I'm just kidding, yeah.
Shortcomings, no. No such thing.
One day, she told me when I got back, she said, hey, you know what, since I cook very healthy meals and wholesome and nutritious, if I can do it for Anya, I can do it for her. So, and then just like that, I told her, this is my word as B, that's a brilliant idea.
So the first couple of years in a child's life is actually very important. It's vital for their growth. I think they deserve real food to grow, and this is where I feel like Anya meals can help parents who are too busy to be able to prepare fast and nutritious meals for their children. And it's not just a convenient solution, but we also educate parents on the importance of nutrition, so that even if they do not purchase from us, they can take the knowledge and the know-how to prepare better meals for their children. One very interesting thing that...
Wait, is this turning into an advertisement suddenly?
I have never experienced before I met him was Raya at Ubin, Pulau Ubin.
Oh.
So he has a kampung there, and before I met him, I have never been to Pulau Ubin before. I'm a city girl, if you don't already know that. So my very first year there, I had to wear like the Nonya Kebaya, and I was at the kampung in Pulau Ubin, like never been before, and I was just overwhelmed. Totally overwhelmed, but it's nice, it's good, it's rustic, and I really love that family.
So is this Pulau Ubin or a smaller island in Singapore? And there's a like Malay community there, because I have never toured Singapore. I think I have entered it once, but only to the city. So perhaps my perception towards Singapore is limited to my, very limited knowledge, that it is perhaps so biased. I do not know. So seeing this for the first time, that okay, there's something like this in Singapore. I'm assuming this is in Singapore.
His family gathered together, and everyone was just like having a good time and sharing good food and just talking to each other, and it's very different from my Chinese New Year celebrations. Yeah, and this is what I really like about Raya every year.
chase the small chicks around, and we would climb rambutan trees. You know, we had like a few tree houses.
Pick durians.
Yeah, durian you can't pick, like you have to wait for it to drop. You don't pick durian. City girl, very obvious, huh? Must correct, you know. So durian.
There you go.
Durian, you wait for it to drop.
Okay, so I will finish this first. Okay, it's finished already. So yeah, picking durian, that is interesting. At first when she said that, I imagined picking it from the ground, right? Because that's how when it's fall, you pick it up, right? But when he said that no, you cannot pick durian, because then I only realized in English when you say pick a fruit, it's from the tree, right? Well, you cannot do that with durian, right? Of course. City girl, yeah, interesting. But that remark there as well, I think moving forward, where meaning, for example, even my kids, if they are only growing in the city and never seen, because there's some joke where a teacher asked the children in the classroom to draw chicken. They draw like the cooked chicken in the oven, right? Where the head is no longer there. There's a leg and like Thanksgiving chicken or something, right? Meaning that they actually have never seen live chicken. Right? They cannot even imagine that is chicken. So that is interesting. Fortunately, my kids have lived for 1 year plus, I think, in their grandparents' house up north in Malaysia, in a more kampungi environment. So they do appreciate what that can offer, right? But anyway, that is interesting. I was about to think that this will be all out advertisement at the end, but it didn't. Not saying either way is good or bad. I just said I anticipated that when it suddenly shifted towards the cooking there, right? Anyway, Alhamdulillah, again, as usual, syukur towards Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala that there are people that through various means and incidences, they find Islam. Alhamdulillah. So I think I will end it there. Thank you for watching. See you next time.